it's late at night, so I've got my heart top on tonight rather than Eeyore. Yeah, I think most of my Eeyore stuff's going in the wash. So yesterday, welcome to day 18 of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. So it's APAM, which is celebrating our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within the asexual spectrum. And yesterday we talked about sexual arousal versus sexual attraction. So that was taken from portions of my Asexual Perspectives book. Today we're going to be exploring the differences, or if there's any difference, between sexual attraction and sexual desire. So asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction. Now, sometimes this can, pose the question, what is the lack of sexual attraction? And is the sexual desire and sexual attraction the same thing, or are they different? Well, in my Asexual Perspectives book, I interviewed 46 asexuals around the globe. And I asked the question, do you believe sexual attraction and sexual desire are the same thing or different? And I'm going to be reading out some of the answers in my book because they give different perspectives, which I think is great to see how different people view different, things. Like some people may view sexual desire and sexual attraction differently to each other, and they're all on the asexual spectrum. So I've got a selection here which I'm going to go through now. So this is Thomas's story, right? I asked him, do you believe sexual attraction and sexual desire are the same thing or different? I believe there is a major difference between sexual attraction and sexual desire. Attraction, in my opinion, is a simple act of finding someone sexy, although there are no physical reactions to the person. This is his opinion. This is not necessarily everyone's opinion. Sexual desire, on the other hand, is the act of wanting to have sex with a particular person in which a physical reaction is found. So, do you agree with Thomas or not? Interesting. Attraction, in my opinion, is the simple act of finding someone sexy, although there are no physical reactions to the person. Now, yeah, personally, I would say there is, because I'm not sexually attracted to anyone, but if I was, I'd be getting the urge to have sex with them, which would probably be a physical thing as well as mental thing. I agree that attraction in general isn't necessarily physical, but sexual attraction is physical to a certain extent, I think, as well as mental. But yeah, it's really interesting to hear his view. But I do agree that sexual desire is the desiring of the sex itself. So I think I'd have to think about that a little bit more and analyse that. But it's a really interesting point Thomas raises, isn't it? So this is Jen Mullen's perspective on sexual desire and the sexual attraction, whether they're the same thing or different. I think they're different. I think there are cases where asexuals who are sex positive or neutral and who have a partner who wants to have sex may experience sexual desire. They might not be attracted to that person, but they could still desire to have sex with that partner. I think that's quite a valid point, actually, because I think sexual desire can have two meanings. It can have the meaning to have sex, desire the sex to please your partner, but it can also mean sexual desire, as in you desire the sex itself because you need the sex, basically. So I find that really hard because in my personal perspective, which I've written in that book, I can't actually separate the two. But I can understand that when people go to nightclubs, and like guys, for example, because I pay more attention to guys because I'm interested in guys, when they say, oh, I'm going to have sex tonight, it doesn't matter who it's with, they just want sex. And that to me is sexual desire, rather than someone they look at and want sex with that specific person. That to me is sexual attraction. Whereas sexual desire is just wanting the sex itself for its own sake. That's my personal opinion on the matter. But let's hear some others' opinions. So Adelaide's story, this is her basically how she perceives sexual desire and sexual attraction. And well, I've asked her, do you believe sexual attraction and sexual desire are the same or different? I do not understand the difference. So some asexuals, they don't understand that sexual desire and sexual attraction can be separate. For me personally, they go hand in hand, because if I'm not sexually attracted to someone, I can't desire the sex, because I couldn't want to have sex with someone I wasn't personally sexually attracted to. And as I don't get sexually attracted, then I don't have the sexual desire. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, that's where I'm personally coming from. Okay, and Victoria's story. Let's get her perspective on this. Since I have never experienced either, this is a summary of what other people have told me it is. Attraction is being turned on by someone and wanting to sleep with them. Desire is the urge to act on that attraction. I think that's a really good summary, actually. Attraction is being turned on by someone and wanting to sleep with them. Desire is the urge to act on that attraction. I think that's probably correct. I think it's a very good analogy, that. Very good analogy. So, let's see what C.A. Altman's story says. I believe they're different concepts. Sexual attraction is looking at or thinking of specific people and wanting or being willing to do sexual things with them. Sexual desire is a desire for sexual stimulation or acts, which doesn't have to be associated with any particular people, if at all. It's often linked to or seen as a synonym of libido or sex drive. So yeah, I think that's a really good point as well. You know, I do think that you can have a person can have the desire to have sex without experiencing sexual attraction. However, I believe sexual attraction is the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. So therefore, I would think if a asexual, quote, is sexually it experiences sexual desire that's aimed at a specific person, then I wouldn't think they're asexual. As far as I understand, with asexuals, the sexual desire, if they have any, need, urge, or want for sex, you know, physically and mentally, it's because they're sexually attracted. You know, they wouldn't be asexual if they get the need, urge, or want to have partnered sexual intercourse with someone. That's what, you know, that's what being asexual is, the lack of sexual attraction. I can see, however, that some asexuals would still have a sex drive, but it's not aimed at anyone usually. So, and sexual desire, as in the desire to want to have sex with your partner because you love them, rather than you want the sex itself, is not the same to me as sexual desire. Sexual desire is desiring the sex, whereas sexual desire is desiring the sex, whereas desiring the sex because you love your partner is not the same as sexual. So sexual desire, in my mind, is not the same as desiring sex for a means to an end. Do you see what I mean? They're two different things. I think people confuse the sexual desire meaning, because it could have two meanings, but sexual desire means usually to have desire to have sex, whereas desiring sex, as in you want it to please your partner because you're asexual and you'll have it, is different. Do you see what I mean? That's where I'm coming from. I think it's a very tricky thing sometimes to discuss, because, you know, there are people who are asexual and who have a sex drive or libido, but usually it isn't aimed at anyone. I think if the sexual desires, as in desire to have sex, as in you get the urge, need, or want for it, is not being asexual. But having a desire to have sex because you want to please your partner, to me, that isn't sexual desire. That is desire to have sex. You see what I mean? They're swapped round. Sexual desire is not the same as desiring to have sex to please your partner. but they could be seen as the same words because it's the way you change the wording around and how you perceive it, isn't it? So anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. What do you think? Do you think sexual attraction and sexual desire is the same thing? Do you agree with me or disagree with me that sexual desire is basically the desire to have sex, whereas sexual attraction is the desire to have sex with a specific person? You get the need, urge, or want for it with a specific person. What do you think? Do you think asexuals experience sexual desire? Or do you think libido and sex drive in asexuals is different to sexual desire? That's an interesting question. See, I personally get high levels of arousal, which some people call sex drive. I call it high levels of arousal, but it's not aimed at anyone. I don't want to have the need, urge, or want to have sex with anyone. You know, obviously, if someone was touching me, my body would be stimulated in a sexual way, but still doesn't change the fact I don't want sex, I don't need it, and I don't get the urge for it because I'm not sexually attracted to anyone. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe below if you haven't already and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video. The UK Asexuality Conference video is now out, the one about ace relationships, the panel discussion that was filmed live by my friend. So if you haven't checked that out already, it was published only a short time ago. Go and check it out now. It's a video before this one. And like I said, if you've got any friends that you think will benefit from this video, would like to join the discussion, you know, go ahead and post below. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. I will see you on day 19 of APAM, which is tomorrow, Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, celebrating our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. So I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.